Awesome. Thank you. So Danielle, can you tell us a little bit about how your process was for searching for a job and how you ended up at your current job?
So with my mentor, when I was interning, we went to a lot of different conferences. And at one of the conferences, I saw the organization I'm working for now, which is Community Resources for Justice. And it was like a similar situation where I was like, I'm going to work there someday. So I contacted my mentor probably in like May, because I was just having a hard time with COVID trying to find a job. So I contacted her in about May time, and I said, is there any connections you have with Community Resources for Justice, because it's a big nonprofit in Boston? And she said she did. So she set me up with two different people I could talk to that had either worked there or were currently working there. And I talked to them, and they told me a good position that I could apply for that I would probably get like coming out of college. And so I did. And then I used her as one of my resources, and I got the job in August.
Awesome. And congratulations. This is a chaotic
Thank
summer to try to look for a job. And Community Resources for Justice is one of the other host organizations that we work with. So we have a couple fellows there right now. Tell us what your role is there.
So I'm a program monitor. So I pretty much sit at the desk and I greet the residents when they come in. It's a reentry program for women that were recently released from jail. So I screen them when they come in, I search them, I do drug tests with them, I talk to them, I do room searches if I have to, I give them their meds when they need them. Like it's a residential program for them. So I'm pretty much just the person that's sitting in the living room with them while they're down there. They all have case managers that they report to, but I'm just the person that's keeping track of everything pretty much.
That's awesome. Thank you. Gonna go back to Nana because I know that people have a lot of questions about what it's like to actually do an internship working from home. Nana was with us last semester, so she had her internship totally normal and in person, and then after March 13th, had to totally adapt. So can you tell us just a little bit about I guess what your internship position was, like a little bit about the position and the special project, and then kind of how that changed after March 13th happened.
So my position was a volunteer coordinator fellow. So basically I was in charge of like planning, promoting, and executing a volunteer appreciation event, because the program, relies heavily on having volunteers come in to help with either serving meals, activities, or anything in between. So, a volunteer appreciation event is just to say thank you for all that you do. And for the most part, it was the same, but it changed also, because since we wasn't having like a physical event anymore, I was still in task with doing like emailing people asking for donations of space, food, like communicating with them, calling to see like if what they can do, what they can't do. Like I still have basically my same position. It was just instead of it being that for that specific time, it would just be for a later time. So the all the information that I gather, all the people that I reach out to, everything they will use it is just will be for a later time. So that's how it changed, but it was the same at the same time. But just I guess I was just planning for like a future event instead for like a present event.
Awesome, thank you. And did you pick up any kind of tips and tricks about how to do your internship for home, or was there anything that your mentor did to support you during that time?
Yeah, my mentor did a lot. She knows I was going through it when it came to working from home, just because I was so used to like, the commute of going in. And I like my commute where I work in Copley. So it was really nice and it was easy to get there. So one thing that she really helped me with was to keep me focused. We basically had a planner. So throughout the week, there were specific things that I had to get done, and we had like timestamps on it. Like, obviously, if I got certain things done early, then, you know, go on to the next. But if a little things were a little bit slow, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you have to like hit these times. But it was just something in place to help me stay on focus and stay on task. And then during the week, like, let's say around noontime, she will call me to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you have any questions? Then on Thursdays, we'll have like a hour-long meeting discussing like what we did for that week and what our plan is for next week. And then like something else too, she will give me like these like professional development videos that I had to watch, like from through Boston public libraries, which I didn't think they had, but was really cool. I watched a video on like how working from home, how to take like notes in meetings, and just little things like that, which really helped me out a lot. So like she was really there, like very hands-on with me. It wasn't, oh, well, you're home now, so bye. She was still very hands-on, probably a lot more hands-on with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that the mentorship is one of the things that really can set us apart from a traditional internship experience. When you apply to semester in the city, you get matched to an internship, but we have, hundreds of host organizations across Boston that are also applying to host you, right? So versus you just like going out there and, sending out your resume, hoping for an internship, we're able to kind of help match that. And we make sure that the mentor is applying to be a mentor, not just a supervisor. So we stipulate that about 10% of the time that you spend at your internship is actually focused on your professional development. Speaking of professional development, so I know there's a big part of the classes that are related to kind of getting you ready to launch that career. Danielle is someone who just kind of went through the whole interview process. Was there anything from the classes, from semester in the city, or from building your network that you think really kind of contributed to going through that process or helped you out?
Yeah, definitely. I think honestly, just the whole experience of the internship and talking to your mentor, you have to have, you kind of have to be professional as a student, and navigating that was kind of tricky as a student because you're still just the intern, but also you want to be respected by like everyone that you end up helping out. And so I think just from talking with her, having conversations with her, other people in the office, or going to conferences with her where I was meeting other people, it was just a good way for me to learn like how to sound a little bit more professional or how to have a little bit more confidence, which helps me now with coworkers or even in my interview, things like that, just knowing how to like talk and sound more professional.
Absolutely. Jasmine, do you have any questions for us? I know we've been talking for a little bit, but I'd love to hear from you.
No, not really. Not at this time. I'm kind of just like trying to take everything in on like how to go about the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I actually do have a question.
Yeah.
So because we're like in COVID right now and like we're working from home, like how does that transition? Because I know like when you normally apply, you get sort of like the housing situation. So like how does that transition work if I wanted to like apply?
Yeah, great question. So we're accepting applications right now for spring 2021 and beyond. So you could come this upcoming spring or apply for a future semester as well. You're a junior right now, right? Yeah. I think that this can actually be a really awesome time to come, like in your junior year, because then it really kind of helps, it can help you really clarify what you want to do, and then you have your whole senior year to like kind of dig in, and then when you're graduated you still have the network with us, so that can be a great time to come. But obviously spring 2021, probably not that much will have changed with COVID, if we're being honest. I mean, we can be optimistic, but I don't think there's going to be a huge shift. So the way that we're doing it right now is, fortunately, we're a small enough program that we're kind of able, I think we have a lot more flexibility than, for example, a school with thousands and thousands of people. So our apartments are still open. They're 4-bedroom apartments, and we're not doing doubles right now, just singles. So every person gets about 100 square feet of their own personal space. And then of course, all the apartments have 2 bathrooms and like a kitchen and a living room. So far, no COVID cases in our program at all, or any of our staff, which is awesome. We're knock on wood, exactly. You know, and we've provided resources for testing and are staying on top of that. I would say, I think about 80% of our current students have fully virtual internships, meaning that they're not required to go to the office or anything like that on a regular basis. Although we do have a lot of the students are meeting their mentors for coffee outside or going for walks or things like that, so that there is some of that connection that you're still able to make in person. And then we do have a few students that are placed at organizations with small enough offices that they're like rotating in, like one team will come in Monday and Wednesday, like a small team, you know, so some of that has like more of a hybrid. And then we have a couple people who are doing direct service full time, and they're taking all the precautions. Unfortunately, nothing has gone wrong yet. So I think it kind of depends on you and your comfort level. But like I said, the apartments are open. And the thing is that because you have, you know, roommates, right? You've got 3 other roommates in a 4-bedroom apartment, that kind of becomes your COVID pod. So the classes that we have, the Wednesday evening class is fully virtual. And then Friday, I'd say like every other week, we have some in-person activities just in small pods that are more like workshops and stuff like that. And we just kind of rotate them through. So we have been taking all of the precautions, and so far what I'm hearing from students is they're really enjoying it. And I think they're enjoying it maybe more than just taking fully online classes at their university. No offense to any university, but that is the word on the street that I'm getting, is that they're still really feeling like it's an engaging, enriching experience, and they're really gaining real world experience. Because I mean, I have a real world job and I'm working from home right now. You know, there's still really good skills to be built there. And they're getting ready for that kind of next step after college as well. So Nana, you lived in our apartments. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the apartments or your roommates or any of the activities that you did while you were a student living in our apartments?
So the apartment, it was great. I was supposed to be rooming with one of my friends, Emma, but because somebody didn't come last minute, so we all end up having our own rooms. And I don't know how they did it, but we have to do like a roommate survey, which is like, you know, do you want to live with people like co-ed, or you want to live with only one type of gender, or like you know, it was nice, like a little basic survey that you take. And even in college too, they do that as well. I don't know what they did, but they matched us up perfectly. I remember I was recently talking to one of my other friends, Tess, who was my roommate, and I was talking to her and I was like, like the first night when we had to sign like our roommate agreement form, that's when we knew like we were all gonna get along. I don't know what type of magic they did, but they did a really good job at placing us. Like we all got along so well. We were all very compatible. Like we were understanding of each other. It was fun. Like, you know, going to to your internship and then coming home and then you're seeing your friends, and then we had the 4 other girls that were right next door to us, which like it was really nice to like we could leave our apartment and go there. This is pre-COVID, and then they had the other apartments that we could go visit. Everybody was like in like a walking distance, and I remember talking, I was like, this is what I really feel like a true college experience is supposed to be like to me, that's what it personally felt like. And I mean, and then you're in Boston, so there's so much things for you to do. Like I said, the apartments was really nice. And even during COVID, when we had to like social distance, like I became more closer to the girls I live with, and even the ones next door. Like we will have days where we'll eat dinner together, we'll watch movies together, we'll do puzzles or play games together, or like we'll go to the club since we couldn't I mean, I really technically couldn't go to the club because I was still 20 at the time, but we would go to the club and it was fun. And like, yeah, even though we were like social distancing, people were like, oh, see you on my Snapchat, they would get jealous, they'll say, you're having so much fun. I'm like, yeah, I am. And it was really nice. even though COVID happened, but it still didn't change anything. If anything, it probably made my relationships with those girls even more stronger.
Yeah. By the club, do you mean dance parties in your apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And Danielle was actually a commuter student. So you didn't stay in our housing. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience as a commuter student?
Yep, so I commuted, which was different than school because at school I lived on campus. So I was a little bit nervous about it just because I'm naturally a little bit quiet anyway. So I was worried about making friends and things like that. But I actually got pretty close to the other commuters, and I'm still friends with them now. Like I still hang out with some of them. We'll go on walks or whatever we can while we're outside. But it was good. It was a little bit challenging just because sometimes we would hang out, and it was always like difficult for us to go our separate ways once we left because we would have to go alone. But other than that, like there were plenty of times I went to the apartments just to hang out with people, or we would still go hang out with people after class on Friday or things like that, where we could just meet them somewhere like for coffee or to shop or something quick. But overall, I liked being a commuter. I do feel a little bit like I missed out on the good roommate experience, but I'm glad that I could save money while I was there and just figure it all out on my own too.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. Jasmine, do you have any other questions or thoughts or anything?
No, not really. I don't have anything that's like jumping out at me.
Awesome. And Amelia, am I missing
Yeah.
anything?
I just wanted to add, so I probably should have said this in the beginning, but I'm like your on-campus person for helping you kind of figure out this process. And Danielle and Nana can both tell you that it's not, the on-campus part is not easy. Kind of running around and getting paperwork signed off by people and tracking down your department and financial aid advisors. So I'm here to hopefully help in that process. And if you like have any questions about anything like after this session and you want to know more about like the process at UMassDartmouth, we can always meet individually if you wanted to talk about it further.
I actually do have one question. For like the career center, is there days where people are like physically on campus, or it's all like virtual meetings?
We have someone at the front desk right now, and we have like student workers, but it's all virtual meetings. So like we have walk-in hours, but you have to walk into the center, they're on Zoom.
Okay.
You can schedule appointments either by like stopping by the front desk, or you could go on Handshake, or just email us or email me and we can schedule an appointment.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
thank you.
We're there-ish.
Okay.
there in spirit.
Yeah.
And Jasmine, I have your email address from your registration for this, so I can send you out some follow-up information. Can link you to our Instagram, which is a really good way to kind of see the student takeovers. I think Nana's is particularly awesome, but you can kind of see what are, from the student perspective, what it's like. And I'll also send you a link to the application and a little bit of an application guide, and I'll copy Amelia on that so that you're able to connect that way as well.
All right, sounds perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any like last words or advice from either Nana or Danielle before we sign off, or both preferably?
I would say just go for it. You really don't lose anything by doing the program, and you get a lot out of it. Out of the program, I'm so happy I did the program. I remember saying that I wish it was 2 semesters long, or maybe not just 1 semester. You get a lot out of it. It's a really fun experience. Even with COVID, you can still make the best out of it. So definitely do go for it. Just take that chance and just give it a shot.
Awesome. And Danielle, any thoughts about?
I agree, 1,000%.
Go for it.
Yeah, definitely at the very least apply, just to have options. Even if you don't want to go your junior year, if you want to wait, see if COVID, I don't know, up to you. You could always go your junior year or your senior year now that you have time. I waited till my senior year to apply, and I'm glad I did. I like doing it my senior year, but having some more time to think about it might be nice. Also, like, I was a little bit nervous about it, like, and overwhelmed by trying to figure out like all the different aspects to applying and figuring out how to go. A big thing for me was like the financial aspect of it. But I will tell you, like, between Amelia and everyone from Semester in the City, like, you can email any of them, they get back to you right away. And it's pretty simple. Like, it's stressful in the moment, but you get it all done and you have a lot of support throughout it. So it's good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Danielle and Nana and Amelia. And it's so good to meet you, Jasmine. I'll send you an email right after this. And if you have any questions, we can do a follow-up. Okay?
All right. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day,
Good
guys.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.